Brad, we got a new owner.
We did it, finally.
Tom Dundon.
Is it Dundon?
Dundon.
You know what's funny? I've read the name like 15 times today, but I haven't really thought about the pronunciation.
I think I've read it so many times that I'm starting to like go crazy about it. I think in some other article I saw it was Dundon.
Yeah.
D-U-N, and that made me laugh.
Yeah, I read it as Tom Dun. I was like, oh shit, who did we just get? This is bad. This is not good. No, but it's awesome because I mean, like, it feels currently to me like as good of a scenario as it gets. I mean, like, good news just keeps on rolling from this.
I could not have pictured a more like at least like engaging off season for us. Like we've talked about Hansen. I bet. Talked about Dame.
It was a lot of emotion in that moment for my kids, but for myself as well.
We got Drew Holiday.
And my Wi-Fi wasn't that bad.
And now on top of it, we got the owner a lot quicker than I thought we were going to get one. And it's a guy who seemingly is, and we'll get into all of the details about just how involved he is, but it's a guy who's like going to be ready to make some big swings.
Yeah, and it's maybe, like you said, it's maybe the most eventful offseason of my lifetime. And there's still like a solid section of Blazer fans who are going to see it as a massive failure because Jeremy's not off the team.
Yeah.
Lion's mane for my brain, things like that. So I'll mix a few different mushrooms in the morning.
I mean, I don't know about you, but were you ever like that scared of the team? Because let's get this out of the way first. I'm still seeing Blazer fans being like, you don't know, man. Yeah. Like, this doesn't feel right. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I mean, like I said, the good news just keeps rolling in about how we're staying in Portland, which I was never truly concerned about. I really wasn't. I think the hysterics of, and I understand it because, we're like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Seattle. So we've seen how misery can happen to even a good franchise, even though I'm still from the I-5 rivalry.
Yeah.
I still remember, like, even though I was when the Sonics leave, it was
2008.
2008, yeah. Well, I remember being like 8 years old and being like, I fucking hate the Sonics.
Yeah.
The Sonics thing never worried me because we're a much better franchise than the Sonics were. We have a more storied franchise in that we have a much stronger fan base and ticket sales. Like, I was never worried about it for a million reasons, even though it seems like Blazer fans wanted to be worried about it.
When an announcement this big happens, especially when it's ownership, and I think it's so easy to hate owners in general. It's easy to hate rich people, I think, and just assume that they're gonna make bad decisions. And especially, it's been a long time, I think, and a lot of people have forgotten what a good owner looks like. And I think Paul Allen was a really good owner, at least for a long, long time.
He's one of the best owners ever.
One of the best
I'm
owners.
a big Paul Allen fan.
So we were treated well, but I think it's been long enough that people kind of forget what being treated well and, being invested in a team and having it come out look good can look like. And I think with this guy, with Dundon,
the CEO of pickleball, by the way, he's got pickleball billions. That's incredible.
He did make a good, investment with that. I think pickleball is taking off. I see tons of people at least playing it, but I think the MLP is doing pretty well. So.
Well, imagine being rich and you can say you have pickleball money.
Yeah.
I would love to say I have pickleball. I want to say, like, I like ping pong. I like ping pong, but I want to be like, I made my riches. This is ping pong money.
I think that speaks to him and his investments in the way he made money too. I didn't go too far as to like, how much money did his parents have or anything like that. But to me, it seems like he was kind of just a guy who went to SMU, into business, into finance, and kind of just made enough series of good moves to work his way up to get enough money to eventually buy the Carolina Hurricanes.
Was he the first ethical billionaire to ever live?
I think he did it perfectly fine. I think he
somehow figured it out.
Yeah. But I mean that to say, like, I don't think it's, like one genius idea he had that kind of just blew up.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
It's like, I think he's not known for any singular product. He's not known for any singular business. He's just made enough good decisions that, like, he just kind of keeps getting more money. And again, when you have more money, you can get more money, and it just kind of works like that. So all of that led to him buying his first team, which was the Carolina Hurricanes. And from everything that I gathered, the first thing of note is that he is a very involved owner. And from the moment he bought the Hurricanes, he not only wanted to buy more of it and eventually become the sole owner like he is now, but he wanted to be very involved in day-to-day operations. He wanted to be very involved in what seems like player personnel. I don't think anyone truly knows like how many of the GM decisions were his, but there was a survey that went around that asked NHL agents, I don't know if you saw this, that asked 19 NHL agents, an anonymous poll of what they thought about different things within the NHL. Dundon was voted by far the worst owner. And it was, again, this is determined by NHL agents. So what we really can extrapolate for that is that agents hate working with him. And in a way, you could kind of spin that and make it a good thing, I think, and that agents hate working with him because he's representing the best interests of the team to a fault.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I'm so for that.
Yeah.
That means they like hate how much he sticks to his team.
Exactly. He's literally going to bat for his team in such a hard regard that agents are pissed off.
I love that. I could not love that more. I see a lot of people kind of downplaying his impact as an owner, which is so strange to me because we had years of people criticizing, rightfully and I don't know about your stance with Jody. It always seems like she wasn't a good person, but as an owner, I thought she wasn't good or bad. She was just kind of non-existent. Like she gave the reins of control almost entirely to Joe and Schmidt. And apparently, this is what I'm sad about is Bert Cold is gone, who has been the like evil shadow owner for years now. Even when Paul was alive, I always just thought Jody and Bert always got a unfair blame when I think most Blazer fans, actually, I don't know if that's true, but you and I are really happy with where the team is right now.
Yeah. It's trending upwards.
It is trending. Like we're really excited about the future, and we're excited about next season. We think we're in a really cool spot, and it looks like we are getting an owner that is going to want to win.
You've now been at 3 home games, correct?
Yep.
Obviously, been 0-3 during that time. What's kind of what you've seen, and what's your reaction after those 3 home games?
Thanks for bringing it up.
Sorry.
Losing's no good. You feel guilty, right? Because the fans, they pay, they come. More people have been coming, and so you're disappointed that you lose. You're disappointed that you didn't create the environment, and hopefully you realize that if you win, they're more likely to come back. Everybody's frustrated. The players are frustrated, coaches are frustrated, fans are frustrated.
Which is awesome. I don't think we're going to get an owner that's going to embrace tanking. I think we're going to get an owner that was, honestly, when I read about him, reminds me of Paul, because Paul Allen as an owner was like, for 15 years, the Blazers were like top 3 or 5 in spending every year. He would go into every luxury tax. He would just give out any contract he could to get guys. He was a very aggressive. He hired GMs like Trader Bob, who just made move after move after move. Like he was an aggressive owner. He was incredibly into the draft. And you read about Dundon, and it's similar vein, which I think is awesome because I think Paul's a great owner. He's young Dundon. He's 53, I think. Mm-hmm. And as I was about to say earlier, like people like to downplay. I've seen people downplay his success as an owner for Carolina, which is so strange to me because it's the same people who are Jody needs to sell the team ASAP because she's doing horribly because an owner means everything, which an owner is important. And now we got an owner who's aggressive, and it's like no, we don't. Like, that doesn't matter. Also, we're going to leave. He's going to sell us to another city. It's like, or move us to another city. It's like, do you guys just hate the Blazers? You guys just like want to be unhappy? Right now, we're in a situation where we got an owner with a good track record who's young, looks like he's willing to spend money. We're getting other investors who are Oregonians, which is a huge plus. And not only that, but apparently they're wanting to find as many local investors as they can. There is just endless good news that there is no reason to think we're leaving Portland now. There was a glimmer of doubt that I had, like a 1%, where I was like, it was mostly the talk about us needing a new arena.
Yeah.
It felt like propaganda to give Blazer fans a reason to not be too stunned if we do move. But I thought it was mostly just like morons online. The Moda Center's fine. To me, it's still like somewhat modern. Things are going well. Yeah. We're staying in Portland. Our owners are cool. Relax.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Have a moment before we have a horribly disappointing season.
Enjoy it now before it actually becomes bad.
Yeah, most of the Blazers' joy I get is out of misplaced hope.
Yeah.
We're getting very placed hope right now.
I think it's undoubted, like you said, that we will stay in Portland. That this bringing on of Tom Dundon is a very good outlook for that. And I think, as we've also established, he's going to be very involved. Now, to see the other side of the coin and how that could be a bad thing, because I think, Mike Richmond talked about it in the Locked On Blazers today.
I don't think you have another owner in sports that's as involved in his team as he is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Listen, I think the number one thing that good ownership can do is hire the right people and get out of the way.
And there's a lot of sentiment, around it when you think of, especially of the poster child of this now, of Matt Ishbia, of being too involved, right? It's definitely a thing. It can definitely happen where an owner that doesn't know a lot about basketball, but thinks he knows a lot about business is kind of the way, or people is how I think people look at those situations, comes in and oversteps his boundaries and goes over the head of the GM and the coach and the front office and makes decisions that don't make a lot of sense and don't pan out and aren't, very, they're a little too eager, right? It's exactly what Matt Ishbia did with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, bringing the both of them in.
Well, the Suns also brought in Isaiah Thomas as a consultant, which, if you know anything about Isaiah Thomas's executive career, he's the Grim Reaper. So, the second I saw, because I still think, obviously the Suns blew it, but in some ways I almost respected them going for it.
Yeah.
It worked out horribly. I think it was Isaiah Thomas. Like I said, Isaiah Thomas is the Grim Reaper of NBA teams. As an executive, he wasn't involved, I think the Suns would be celebrating a championship right now.
Well, I think, again, the other thing is that while those moves did pan out completely awfully, there were a lot of smart people who thought they were great moves and thought the Suns were going to be really good at different points with that team. A lot of people picked them to go far last season before the wheels fell off, right? That the Suns being the biggest example of someone coming in and kind of ruining a good thing. And to me, I don't see that happening for at least one reason. And to me is that Dundon doesn't really have an unlimited checkbook, right? Matt Ishbia had Steve Ballmer type money where he can do whatever he wants and the money won't be a consequence. I don't think Dundon has that. He's willing to spend. If you look at the Carolina Hurricanes, they spent in the majority of the years since Dundon's taken over, they've gone to the cap or above the cap. In 2020, they were the highest spending team in the entire NHL, and that was kind of the first start of their, championship window, and it's just been extended since then. So I think there's a lot of good reason to think that he'll go into the first apron sometimes. Like if there's a move if there's a move where the only reason we shouldn't do it is because of money, I think he'll figure out a way to do it and push us in the first apron. I don't think we're going to be a perennial second apron team that's just going to be like the Cavaliers right now, stock up and be like, well, the window's open, so I'm just going to spend until it's closed. I truly believe that he's going to have the happy medium of he's going to be aggressive, he's going to want to spend money when the play is right, but he's not going to have so much money behind him that he'll do reckless things because he thinks he can win now and trade for Bradley Beal when it doesn't make sense and trade for KD and blah, 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 blah. Like, he seems to me, based on his tenure from Carolina, which, again, the other thing is I think people are like, that doesn't translate. Like, it's hockey, or it's like you can't just expect the fact that he did well in Carolina to mean that he's going to do well for us. It's like, I think you totally can.
Of course you can.
I think you have nothing but that to go on. It's literally the best example you could possibly have is to look at a guy go to the NHL, which is built the most closely resembles the NBA, take a small market team that was down on its luck like Carolina, completely turn it around, make it a perennial title favorite. They have the second best odds for the title next year, and that's been the case for 5 years now, something like that. That's not hyperbole. And on top of it all, he's building one of those like city districts around the stadium that people love and are like genuinely amazing. Like, he has, in the short amount of time he's been there, only 7 years, made that franchise amazing. He saved it. And it's like, I can't think of a better example of what a guy could have to do to make you think that he's going to do a good job here.
I know, and I've seen people be like, oh, but there's other stuff that plays into it. Yeah, dude, no fucking duh. But I mean, all I've heard my entire life, and you see this in every successful franchise, is it starts at the top. So if you see what an amazing turnaround he's delivered in Carolina, which honestly, even their situation as a team from when he bought them is similar to ours right now.
Yeah. Totally.
And not even that, but the situation as a city with the district around it, the area around it. It's not like he's a Carolina guy. He's a New York guy.
He's a Dallas guy.
He's a Texas guy. Yeah. Like he's shown we got a guy who doesn't seem to have any allegiance to any cities that we could possibly be moved to. Shows insane allegiance to whatever teams he owns. He turned around a small team that wasn't doing well. Portland Trailblazers' entire life story is that. If that isn't enough from you, I think you're purposely just being a pessimist.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like it's been making me mad all day. It really has been. Like I don't know what more people want.
I don't know.
We got an owner who took a team in the same situation as us and turned it around, and guys are like, no, I don't know about that.
It's just no, it wasn't him. And on top of it, the reports are all that he had everything to do with it.
We talk about the Suns and, the risks of involved owners. The problem with the Suns or with any ownership that's involved and they suck is not that they were too involved. It's just that they sucked.
Yeah.
An owner who's super involved and awesome is amazing. Duh. And we have perfect solid proof that he's a very involved, high spending, which is the most important part, really. When we really get down to what makes a good owner, 75% of it is, are you willing to spend the money? And he's shown that he is. And we're getting other rich guys in, like we're going to be fine. Because that was Paul's best thing as an owner. He's willing to spend the money. And this guy clearly shows he is. And not only that, it's not like he's throwing money out at nonsense. He's shown he spends a lot of money on the right things. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what more people could want. Again, embrace it, guys. One moment of happiness and hope as a Blazer fan. They come far and few between. Is that the phrase?
Yeah, few and far between.
Yeah. Like, dude, it's awesome. Here's the only question that it brings in is you see a lot of owners when they come in and they kind of like clean house. They want their own GM that they know. They want their own coach that they know. You would assume that Chauncey and Joe were here for, I'd say, 2 more seasons at least.
Yeah. I would think that, and I think this is kind of the timeline we're all, wanting them to be under, is about 2 more years. They get this core. Because, again, they've also accelerated their own timelines with these moves that they've made. Like, the trading for Drew Holiday means that you got to be right. Like, you can't go backwards anymore. So I think until this team takes a step back or doesn't take, or kind of idles out, then I think he'll be pretty ready to fire Chauncey and Joe. And I think that's what a lot of people in this fan base would agree is the right thing to do, is to let them ride out this iteration of the team, their draft choices, Scoot, Shaden, the free agent moves they made, Dame, Drew Holiday, give them these next couple of years. And then if it doesn't work out, if we stall, if we don't make the moves we need to make, Dundon will be more than ready to fire the both of them and hire the new guys that he wants. And then from that point, he probably will be really, really involved. But we'll just have to see how it goes.
1,000%. Because that's what we've always talked about with Cronin and Chauncey. It's like, they're not our GM and Joe, I assume not. I don't quite know. But Chauncey especially are not. We do not see them as our championship coach and GM. We think they make enough sense right now until we're actually good. Then we're, like you said, they're going to write out that core. I think Dundon's probably going to clean house then. I would assume he's not going to come and do it immediately. That would make zero sense because we just signed both of them to new contracts.
That would be a bad move, a bad sign, in my opinion.
It would
if he comes in here and fires them immediately.
Yeah, I would say this for the first time in a while. We have a clear, even if Blazer fans don't like it, which I can in some ways understand it. We feel like we have a clear direction, and this is before the sale, like of where the team is going identity-wise, how the team is made up. Like it feels like we have a specific direction we're going to, which makes it interesting that we're going to get a guy who was not part of that direction, who is apparently very involved. I don't think Chauncey and Joe are getting fired anytime soon, But I do think it's very possible we see them being a little less involved in decision making. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I think you're going to feel the pressure more for sure. I think what a lot of, Blazer fans, or what I guess I'll even admit to, I guess what the problem maybe has been with Jody being around and then kind of the complacency of keeping Chauncey and Joe is that, like, it felt like they could do whatever they want and they wouldn't get punished,
For sure. They were running the team.
Yeah.
It was Cronin and Chauncey's team.
Yeah, and Jody was like, you guys are nice people. I'll let you keep going. And I think that's what people are upset by. And, we'll see what all this turns into, but I do think it was fair, and we were doing well enough with that last half of last season push to let them have their chance to see this through. We all agreed to it. But now I think what's going to happen is Dundon's going to come in, and he's going to apply the pressure of like, all right, I get your guys' vision. I see what you're doing. Let's see how it goes. If we keep winning, I'll, let you keep doing your thing. If we start losing, you're not my guys. This plan that a lot of people thought didn't really work out isn't working out. I don't have any problem letting you guys go. And let's reset at that kind of time point that we talked about in 2028 where our draft assets start to kick in. We just all need to realize that, like, we're rooting for this guy,
Yes!
He's one of our players. Like, we have a guy who is now going to play the game of being an owner and do all these things. And, like, there's just nothing to do but root for him. And the only thing you can look at to what he is, it's literally like seeing a guy come from, I don't know. Is he like the KD of owners right now? Like, whatever the player comparison.
What's his player comp?
Whatever a guy who's been in the league for 7 years and all he's done is, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals every other year. Like, he hasn't won a ring, but
is this LeBron going to the Heat?
This is LeBron going to the Heat. It's a guy who's a prodigy coming through the ranks, taking over his team, and being one of the best owners in the NHL, now swapping sides of the country and taking his talents to Portland.
Is this, oh God, dude. I love how this started with us being like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And now we're like, we have the
LeBron of owners. Let's go.
Which is good. I think we need more of that, dude. And here's the thing. We have, I'm more than happy to get ahead of myself by being super stoked about this. But I think this we can say in complete realistic terms, there is no reason to be upset about it.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, we're finding a lot of reasons that may or not work out in the long run of being super stoked about it. But I've yet to see something where I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? There is no reason not to have a positive outlook about this right now. No. Maybe something will come out where we're like, ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But so far it's like, oh, a guy who's really involved, who only cares about the success of a team and spending money and blah, blah. He's been super successful everywhere in life. It's like, what? Perfect. And we're staying in Portland.
Yeah. So yeah. Dundon, we would love to have you on the podcast. I
was just going to say that.
I saw a video today. I looked him up on YouTube. I saw a video where he comes on a guy, Carolina Hurricanes fan podcast and just chats it up with them. He's in like the worst lighting of all time as the third box on there. I think that's another thing is that he's going to be, I think, a man of the people, and he's going to be around. You're going to see him. You're going to hear from him. You're going to, like, if he mimics everything he's been doing in Carolina, you're going to see a lot of Tom Dundon. So, Dundon, get on the Blazers Are Cool podcast. We'll chat it up. We'd
love to have you.
We'll be the nicest podcast host. We'll throw you all the lobs you want, or if you want some
fastballs, pathetically easy.
We'll throw those too. Whatever you need, we'll be here for it. We're big Dundon fans over here on the podcast. If you're out there and you're at all antsy about this, just sit back. We got 2 months till the season. Just realize that the ownership problems are settled. The Blazers are going to be in Portland. And before you know it, this team is going to make some pretty big changes that I think are going to be pretty fun. And at the very least, they're going to be exciting. That's been the point of the offseason. It's exciting. It might not work out. You never know when anything's going to work out. But it's exciting. The Blazers are fun. The Blazers are cool.
The Blazers are cool. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Even if he blows it, it's going to be in a fun way.
Yeah. It's gonna be
it looks like we're going for it. So let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We appreciate you guys listening. Hit us with a like if you like Tom Dundon. Hit us with subscribe if you want to meet Tom Dundon so that he'll come on our podcast.
Thanks for 800 subscribers.
Oh yeah, and thanks for 800. We hit 800, so we appreciate you guys. Thanks to anyone who watched our stories about the times we met Blazers. Not our best performing video, but maybe one of the ones we had the more fun with.
I love that. I think that's gonna be a
long-term
slow
one.
burner.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna like collect views over time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
that was a fun
go
one.
Go check that one out. We have some fun stories in there. And go Blazers.
Blazers are cool.
Blazers are cool.
There we go.